Okay, so good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our second session of our World Wetlands Day celebration and webinar. I am your host, Karine Parks, for today. And I would also like to welcome the students from Rollington Town Primary and our home schools, parents and students who are joining us today from the and after the scientist session that we will have uh, every month here at the Natural History. So thank you guys for joining us today, and hope you guys will learn something and have a fun session. Also, I would like for you guys, if you have any questions, you could just raise your hand and somebody will acknowledge you, or you can comment in the comment section. All right, so let's begin. All right, so we are going to show a welcome animation video to introduce the topic that we are going to be talking about today.
Welcome to Join the W.A.V.E, a wetlands awareness and virtual engagement brought to you by the Natural History Museum of Jamaica. Experience 40 minutes of virtual immersion of the wetlands. This is the second of 4 wetlands webinars.
Join us each Tuesday in the month of February. You'll enjoy online presentations, wetland-themed online games, wetland key term features, wetland stories and tours.
There's a wetland in your neighborhood. It's all about the wetlands.
So, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Sometimes they're wet, and sometimes they're not. Transition zones where the water meets the dry spots. They call them marshes, swamps.
Wetland life is really the best. Migrating birds stop here to nest. It's a restaurant and a fine hotel. It's a habitat that serves life well. There are wetlands the whole world round. In every continent and country, wetlands can be found. They're the link between water and land. Hold on to a wetlands, let a wetlands stand. They're the link between water and land. Hold on to a wetlands, let a wetlands stand. There are wetlands inland and out by the sea. There's a marsh, a swamp, and an estuary. There are many names for wetlands, it's plain to see. They have one thing in common, it's hydrology. They're the link between water and land. Hold on to a wetlands, let a wetlands stand. They're the link between water and land. Hold on to a wetlands, let a wetlands stand. If the water table's high or the water table's low, it soaks it up like a sponge or it lets it go. It's like a water filter, so the water will be reduced in pollution and silt free. Wetlands aren't wasteland, if some have said. They're a vital part of our watershed. They're the link between water and land. Hold on to a wetlands, let a wetlands stand. They're the link between clean water and land. Hold on to our wetlands, let our wetlands stand. Our wetlands disappear each year. They're dredged, drained, and filled for housing tracts or parking lots or new farms to be tilled. More than before, we know for sure, the more than mud and sand. Hold on to our wetlands, let our wetlands stand. When you go to the wetlands, get down low. Put your feet in the mud, let it ooze between your toes. Stand real still, listen to the sound. The bounty of life is humming all around. Find a wetland near you and go there today. Get to know its wild side. Try to keep it that way.
All right, so I do hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was fun. So I have a question for you guys. Do you have a wetland in your area? Can just raise your hand or unmute your mic and let us know. Do you have a wetland in your area? Do you know what a wetland is? All right, so now we're going to hand over to Miss Tiona Thomas, who is going to be engaging us in our icebreaker session, and she's going to play Wetland Jeopardy with us. All right, so Miss Tiona.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So let's get into our icebreaker challenge for today. Hey, so here we have a wetland Jeopardy. So I'm not sure if everyone is here from last week. So the rule is that we'll select 5 persons to play the game, all right? So what happened is that you will tell me which of the titles you want to select, right? So you have biodiversity, ecosystem, habitat, mangroves, and animals. So if, for example, you want biodiversity, you say for biodiversity, for 500 points, I would like to select that option. So when you select the option, there will be a question or a challenge for you to do. If you get it correct, then you will earn the 500 points. The person who has the most points will win the icebreaker challenge for today's session. So I need 5 persons to volunteer. You can do so by raising your hands or by indicating so in the chat.
Gabriela.
And Gabriela.
Yes, miss.
No, just recognizing you that you're willing to participate. Can you tell me those names, please, Karen? I'm not seeing.
We have Annalie Morrison, Renee Taylor.
And so we have Renee, Annalie, Gabriela.
Peyton. No, Peyton.
So we need 2 more persons, guys. No one else wants to play?
And I think somebody said Peyton, and there are 5 persons who have raised their hands.
Okay, so. Okay, wonderful. All right, thanks, guys. So let's begin. So first, we'll start with Gabrina. So we have Layla. And we have, is it Ian? All right, so Gabrina, you're up first. So you're going to tell me which of the words you like to select, whether biodiversity, ecosystem, habitat, mangroves, or animals.
Animals.
Okay, animals. So animals only have one option with 400 points. So it says 3-letter word. What you're going to do now is that you're going to tell me a 3-letter word that you can form from the word animals. You ready, Gabrina?
Yes, miss.
What's your 3-letter word?
Sam.
Sam. Right. Can we see what's? All right. So in we have man, aim, nail, and sim, but Sam can work also. Thank you, Gabrina. All right. Next we have Renee.
Hi, I'm Peyton.
Go again, please.
My name is Peyton.
Okay, Peyton, you can go ahead.
I would like mangroves, please.
Right, so mangroves for 200 points or 500.
500.
Okay. A 6-letter word.
Groves.
Go again, please.
Groves.
Groves. It's not there, but you're also correct. Okay, awesome. So we have Anne-Marie, is that it? Annalie. Right, Annalie, sorry. So which of the words would you like to select, Annalie? Okay, biodiversity for 500 points. A 9-letter word. Okay, she says diversity. Ding ding. Awesome. Thank you, Annalie. And so Layla had to go to class for a test. So we need 2 other participants. I heard there are persons on our YouTube channel who would like to participate. All right, so we have Kimora from our YouTube channel. And Camille. All right, so we're going to ask our rep who's on our YouTube channel to ask the students or our participants which of the words they would like to select.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Unmute na. Phew. Right near you. Santana. Just want to say Santana. Santana, come on now. Bye. Yeah, mama type something, say to her.
We're waiting on participants to respond.
Miss, we can't go do the more.
All right, so for Camille, she selects the word habitat. For 100 or 300 points. So we're just waiting to get a response. All right, so for 300 points, Camille selects habitat. So a 3-letter word from the word habitat. It's showing 300. And Camille is trying to figure it out. So let's give her a few seconds. So Camille respond with the word bat. Is she correct? Awesome. So Camille, not Kimura, so Camille has earned her 300 points. So our last participant in the icebreaker challenge, Kimura, which word would you like to select? You want to ask Omar? Amari, would you like to respond on behalf of Kimoro? All right, so ecosystem for 200 points. A three-letter word from the word ecosystem. All right, so the response is I. So it's not there, but you are correct. Okay, so far we have 2-person time, so we have to do a second round. So remember, the person who have the most points win. So each person, so we have 5 options remaining. All right, guys, so we're gonna decide to let the tie remain due to time. So thanks everyone for participating.
All right, thank you, Miss Thomas, for that game. It was very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, so now we're going to move on to our Vox Pop segment. So we're going to play a video and we'll see persons from different fishing village areas and what they think are wetlands and the importance of wetlands. All right.
Refuge Key, right behind the point, behind Gallows Point. It's a wetland where a habitat for the wildlife, like the pelicans, the skiddips, the herons, and all sort of wild birds, the mango ducks, and such on.
Yeah.
Fishes too as well. Small fishes, small snapper is like a habitat.
The wetland, when birds sick, they go close to it, and if they're going to die, they die right there.
Oh, we got the mangrove by the school, the Port Royal School, and they used to raise fish in it, and whatever, crocodile, alligators used to be there. Yeah, gym goers used to raise, crocodiles and alligators.
You have algae, what you call seaweed. You have some mangrove tree, like the grape tree. You have sea grape. Those are up there. Well, Rosy Hole, that's where the boats, like if we have hurricane or anything, they carry the boats up there. It's like a safe haven for the boats. It's also the area where it's a nursery for fish, all types of fish, shark, regular fish, snapper, parrot, any kind of fish. It's a nursery for them.
Different kind of bird. Growing up. Bald-pate, pigeon, garland, pelican, everybody breed up around and them living in the wetland. So that's them house. Now, you have some of them feed, like, and the little crab them, they breed in the mangrove. Yes, the curlew them feed on them.
My surroundings right here, because we are in St. Catherine already near the river, and this is the river coast, so you have wetlands right surround us. So right here we are also wetlands, but because we have to migrate from one place to the other, we dump this wetland and use this piece of wetland as our beach. But around the beach is totally wetland around the beach, because you have crabs, everything, crane, birds from the wild come right here, so come eat crab. So we really, sometimes we dump off the wetlands and we kill the natural things and we really dead if you survive in the wetlands, for birds feed like disaster. The birds they move to the wetland and get the crab and the thing them when them can eat. So wetland good and the serve are really important.
All right, thank you for that video. How are you guys enjoying the session, this webinar so far? Just comment in the comment section and let us know if you are enjoying your time today with us. All right, so for the most interesting part of our webinar today, our presentation section, and I'm going to hand over to Mr. Campbell and he will introduce our presenter for today. Okay, Mr. Campbell.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. My name is Karen Campbell. I'm the head of the Botany Department at the Natural History Museum of Jamaica. And I'm here to introduce our presenter for today, who is Ms. Sashalee Cross. Sashalee Cross is one of 3 botanists in the Natural History Museum of Jamaica. She's been here for the past 4 years. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of the West Indies, Mona, where she pursued a major in applied plant sciences and a minor in human biology. While at the Natural History Museum of Jamaica, she also got the opportunity to successfully participate in an advanced course in tropical botany offered by the Florida International University. At the Natural History Museum of Jamaica, Sashalee focuses on the collections, taxonomy, herbarium management, and research and publications. She has authored and co-authored a few articles in local and international journals, and she has been instrumental in the curation of a number of temporary exhibits on Jamaican flora here at the Natural History Museum of Jamaica, as well as the permanent Natural History Museum of Jamaica exhibition gallery, which will be open soon. She is the lead researcher on the invasive species control and habitat restoration project currently underway at the Mason River Protected Area, Game Sanctuary, and Ramsar site in Mason River, Clarendon. So with all that said, let's welcome Ms. Sashalee Cross, who will do our presentation for today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am Sashalee Cross, and I'll be presenting to you today, and I'll be providing a little about the Mason River Protected Area and why you should help to conserve our wetlands. I hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Sashalee Cross, Assistant Botanist within the Botany Department of the Natural History Museum of Jamaica. Today, I will be presenting on the topic, There is a Wetland in Your Neighborhood, a closer look at the Mason River Protected Area. In our presentation today, we will be looking at an overview of Mason River, important features of the Mason River Protected Area, Game Sanctuary and Ramsar site, its biodiversity, its importance and threats, as well as importance of and how to take care of wetlands and restoration activities at the Mason River Protected Area. Mason River is a community which sits on the border of Clarendon and St. Anne and lies approximately 4 miles by road northwest of the town of Kellett's, Clarendon. On the map of Jamaica on screen, the red marker shows the location of Mason River. In 1956, an aerial survey by scientists revealed interesting landform features within the area. Later visits led to the discovery of Jamaica's only recorded inland peat bog, a marsh, and many interesting and exciting plant species. Here we have an aerial view of the entrance to the property. If you look closely, you will see a section of a pond that sits opposite to the field station. Some of the plants that were found on the property had not yet been discovered by scientists. They found plants that were carnivorous, rare, and many endemics. The area had very little infrastructure, and the rich biodiversity of the area was quickly being cleared for agriculture. In order to protect the remaining biodiversity, in the years that followed, the site was designated a protected area, a game sanctuary, and a wetland of international importance, also called Ramsar Site. The site is one of Jamaica's 4 wetlands of international importance. The property is managed by the Natural History Museum of Jamaica, NHMJ, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, and the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, JNHT. It consists of 202 acres and has been divided into 3 sections: 36 acres for the control area, 44 acres designated as agricultural area, and the remaining 122 acres form the reserve and is permanently fenced. The term biodiversity refers to the variety of plant and animal life in the world or a particular place. a high level of which is usually considered to be important and desirable. Let's take a look at some of the interesting biodiversity found at the Mason River Protected Area. To date, 431 plant species have been documented at the Mason River Protected Area, of which 90% are native, 11% are endemic, some of which are endangered. Some endemic plants that have been recorded include prickly pole, Jamaican rose, Lisianthus exertus, and the orchid Tolomnia pulchella. If a plant or animal is endemic to Jamaica, that means it is only naturally found in Jamaica. These are two of the endemics recorded from the property: Jamaican rose, also called cup and saucer, and Lisianthus exertus. There are also 4 types of carnivorous plants on the reserve as well. They are the sundew, bladderworts, which are both natives, and the Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. Both were introduced but grow very well due to the conditions of the site. Here we have 2 insect-eating plants found at Mason River. To the left, we have the infamous Venus flytrap, and the image to the right is of the native sundew. Can you spot the fly caught by the sundew and about to be eaten? Look closely in the blue circle. Image to the left is of a pitcher plant, and to the right is one of 2 species of bladderworts found on the property. Bladderworts only appear during the rainy season when parts of the trail become flooded for a period of time. The moss growing here is also very special. It can hold up to 40 times its dry weight in water. It is important to wetlands because it helps with the retention of water. The Mason River is also home to a diversity of animals. They include insects, reptiles, bats, and 54 species of birds. Did you know that the first reported sighting of the Connecticut warbler in Jamaica was at the Mason River Protected Area? These Delia grasshoppers are endemic and were only known to exist in the Cockpit country prior to their sighting at the Mason River Protected Area. These 2 beautiful birds are only found in Jamaica and can also be found at the Mason River Protected Area. The site also has recreational benefits. The Mason River Protected Area Nature Walk is a 1.5 kilometers long trail which will take you from cool, closed, canopy-like conditions to open areas featuring a variety of plants, animals, land features, and a weather station. Since the discovery of the property to now, the property has faced a number of threats with varying degrees of severity. Such threats include logging, clearance for agriculture, fires, bird shooting, invasive species, and also climate change. One of the greatest threats to the biodiversity of the area has been the spread of the native invasive plant species, the vampire fern, Dichronopteris pectinata. The wetland features, peat bog, streams, ponds, marsh, and springs of the Mason River Protected Area slowly supply water to areas of the community, which is utilized in a number of ways by persons in the community and surrounding environs. This aerial photograph shows a section of the property with 2 wetland features. The marsh consists of plants and water. Some of this water may drain to surrounding ponds, such as the one in the photograph, which supplies nearby farms with water. A number of ponds are located on the property. Residents of the community use the springs for a number of domestic purposes as the community is without piped water. The site also has other important benefits. Over the years, a number of researchers, both local and international, have visited the Mason River Protected Area to conduct studies and collect data. The site offers a mix of research opportunities through its unique landform features, biodiversity, and conservation opportunities. There are many types of wetlands in Jamaica. Generally, wetlands offer numerous benefits as they act as nature's kidneys by removing pollutants and improving water quality. They reduce flood damage after heavy rains by temporarily storing floodwaters and slowly releasing them to surrounding areas. They offer protection to shorelines from storms by absorbing wave energy released during storms. They are considered nature's nurseries because they provide critical habitat for fish and other creatures. Wetlands supply food and offer a major source of income for fisherfolk. Wetlands are beautiful. They create many recreational, research, and tourism opportunities for Jamaica. With the many benefits that wetlands provide to us, we should do our part in helping to protect them so that they will remain healthy and continue to give us great benefits we all enjoy. Here are some ways we can protect our wetlands. Stop littering. Dispose of all our garbage properly. Reduce use of pesticides and fertilizers, especially when living close to a wetland area. Avoid planting non-native and invasive species of plants. Do not remove plants that do not pose a threat to wetlands from wetland areas. They are important and are a vital part of the wetland ecosystem. Keep your pets under control. Some of our aquatic pets may be harmful to wetland areas if they are released in them. Take part in conservation projects that help wetlands. The Natural History Museum of Jamaica loves wetlands and takes pride in managing the Mason River Protected Area. One of the many ways we try to take care of the Mason River Protected Area is by removing one of the greatest threats to the area, the invasive vampire fern. This plant is very dangerous to the diversity of plants on the property as it tries to take over by killing many other plants. By removing it, many different plants are free to grow and thrive. We further help the area by replanting the areas we clear with a diversity of native vegetation to restore the disturbed areas. The Mason River Protected Area Restoration Project. Our image to the left highlights one of the smallest of 4 patches of invasive fern surrounded by lush vegetation which the fern tries to kill. To put the size of the fern patch into perspective, the very large blue arrow below the patch points to a small black object. That object is our field vehicle. The image on the right is of the same patch after we started our project to remove the invasive fern. We are now in the phase where we are planting natives in the cleared area to restore it to its original state. Here is a photo of some awesome students and sponsors who volunteered to help us restore our reserve by planting native and endemic species on the cleared site. Special thanks also to the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA and the Jamaica Conservation Partners JCP, who are our funding partners for this environmental restoration project. Is there a wetland in your community or close by? How do you use it? How do you help to take good care of it? Let us help to take care of our environment by also taking care of our wetlands. We close our presentation by reflecting on the main campaign for World Wetlands Day 2021. Inseparable: water, wetlands, and life. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sashalee, for that wonderful presentation. I do hope that persons were listening very well about it, because she did mention some very important points on how we can protect our wetlands and why wetlands are important. All right, so the floor is now open for persons to ask questions, and Sashalee will answer them as best as possible. All right, so you can either ask your questions in the comment section, or you can raise your hands and I'll address you. Okay, thanks, Janice Cunningham. Janice is saying that, wow, that's new knowledge for her. Gabrina said, wonderful presentation, and it's super informative. All right, so how do I become a volunteer for replanting? Sashalee, somebody's asking how they can become a volunteer for replanting.
Hi again, everyone. I will post my email address in the comments, and if you are interested in volunteering, you can contact me via email. And thank you for wanting to volunteer as well.
Kellyson said, thank you. Right, any more questions, guys? All right, so Sashalee, I have a question. I'm just asking for my babies that I have in here, for my afternoon to scientists. So in the first section of your presentation, you were talking about endemic, some of the plants being endemic and some of the animals being endemic. Can you explain the term endemic for some of the students in here?
Okay, thank you, Karine. So when a plant or animal is endemic, that means it is only found at a particular place. So Jamaica has rich biodiversity, and we have many plants. We have over 900 plants that are only found in Jamaica.
Okay, Janice is asking, which at this time schools could do visits. Are you guys doing any tours at this moment? If yes, how can they make arrangement for tours?
Okay, so tours have been suspended because of COVID at this time, but usually for tours, you can contact the PR department at the Institute of Jamaica, or you can send it to the email address that I just listed, which is scross@nhmj-ioj.org.jm.
Can she further ask if you guys have any plans for virtual tours?
Yes. So one of the sessions celebrating World Wetlands Day for February, we'll be having a virtual tour of the Mason River. So I did not put a lot of images of the plants and animals there, because there will be a virtual tour of the Mason River protected area. So you'll get to learn more about each plant.
Okay, thanks, Ashley. So Annalie Morris Morrison is saying, I am a part of Down for Earth groups. We do beach cleanups. We are doing an online sensitization on why beach cleanup is important. If anybody wants to join our sensitization, please contact us at downforearthgroup@gmail.com. How do we email you guys to become a guest speaker at our online sensitization? All right, so Annalie, we'll respond to that in the chat, in the comment section as soon as possible, all right? So I have a question here from our YouTube channel from Ashley. She's asking, do any of the nearby farms affect the protected area, like chemicals runoff?
Hi, so far we cannot report that we have had issues from chemicals. However, we have in the past had issues with bird shooting. We have had issues with fire from nearby farms spreading onto the property. So we strictly discourage any burning or even smoking. We don't encourage smoking on the property. Apart from that, just improper garbage disposal. That's what we have issues with.
Okay, thanks, Sashalee. Okay, so another question from our YouTube channel from Amari. How many wetlands are in Jamaica?
Could you repeat that question, please?
How many wetlands are in Jamaica?
So I'm not certain of a number. I'm not sure if Mr. Campbell can help because we have so many different wetlands. But there are 4 wetlands of international importance in Jamaica.
I do hope that answers Amari's question. Thanks, Sashalee. Any more questions, guys? Hold on, Sash.
Okay, so there's a comment.
Okay, so another question from YouTube, Dondre. When the humans cut down the trees, what will happen to the wetlands?
Okay, so firstly, the ferns aren't trees, so they are small plants, and so they won't affect, the removal won't affect the wetlands much. It will actually improve it because we'll be planting a diversity of plants, which will include trees that will help to support the soil for the wetlands.
Okay, thank you. All right, any more questions? Okay. All right, a question from Asani. Why? Okay, sorry about that. So Asani is asking, why does the moss sucks up the water? The moss sucks up the water. That I think is the sphagnum moss.
So the moss has spongy tissues that are able to absorb the water. So the tissues in the moss are spongy. So if you get the chance to visit the Mesa River protected area and you go over the section with the peat bog, you realize that you're not walking on solid ground. It feels very spongy.
Okay, so a question from Gabrina. She's asking, how does the wetland help us as humans?
Okay, so that was also covered in the presentation. However, we can go back to some of them act as nurseries. So the fishes that we enjoy eating, they also provide recreational benefits for humans, which of course we need that. We also have many research opportunities in the wetlands. They offer breeding grounds for a variety of animals that also affect the plants that we use, that affect us humans.
Okay, thanks, Sashalee. DeAndre is asking how many wetlands are protected in Jamaica?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Okay, DeAndre is asking how many wetlands are protected in Jamaica?
I'm sure of the protection of 4. Mr. Campbell, if you would mind answering that, if there's any that apart from the Ramsar sites that are left out.
Okay. All right, so Kimara is asking approximately how many plants or animals are endangered in the wetland area?
I do not have a total tally, but by next week I could, because it's not just plants and animals. We do have some endangered plants at the Mist River protected area, which I'm sure about. However, for all wetlands in Jamaica, I'd have to do a tally and get back to you on that for plants. However, for animals, I'd have to do some more research to get that information for you.
All right, Karen is going to add to that.
I'm not sure.
Thanks, Sashalee.
All right, so in terms of the protection, as Sashalee says, there are 4 Ramsar sites, and luckily those 4 Ramsar sites are actually also in protected areas. Outside of those 4, there are other wetlands that are within other protected areas. But I don't have a list of those presently. But there are other wetland areas that are also protected. But all the Ramsar sites have some sort of protection. And it's Palisados, Port Royal, it's Lower Black River for us, and CCAM 0, which is Portland Bight. So all those areas are within protected areas, and there are other types of protection as well. But as I said, there are additional areas which also have wetlands that have protection also, because mangroves in general are protected.
Okay, thanks, Karen. So Renee Taylor is asking, hi, I'm Peyton. I'm studying about soils in grade 6. What type of soils are found in the wetland area?
I think it's dependent on the location of the wetlands. But for example, for Mason River, we have like a clay loam type of soil. But I think it's broadly dependent on where the wetland is located.
All right, thanks, Sashalee. So Janice Cunningham is asking, what are the 4 Ramsar sites?
Oh, so I just typed that in chat. So the 4 Ramsar sites are the Mist River Protected Area, Palisados, Port Royal Protected Area, Portland Bight, as Karen also mentioned, and the Black River Lower Moras. So those 4 sites have received designations of being wetlands of international importance.
Okay, thanks, Ashley. So Jamie from our YouTube page is asking, how big can a wetland be?
Is that how big can a wetland be?
Jamie is asking, how big can a wetland be?
So in terms of size, wetlands, remember we have different types of wetlands. They have swamps. So in Jamaica, you have swamps, you have ponds, and you have large mangrove areas. So in terms of approximate size, I don't have a number working with, but if you think about the extension of mangroves along our coastlines, then you'll have an idea that it can extend to a very large area.
Okay, so our last question for today is from Malia, and she's asking, how can the government protect our wetlands? How can the government protect our wetlands?
Okay, so the government has been trying to protect our wetlands by imposing laws to help to deter persons from littering, from dumping. However, I believe that the greater question is how can we as citizens help to protect our wetlands, because it all starts with us. So we need to be more responsible. So stop littering. Even if you don't live beside a wetland, sometimes our garbage ends up in the wetlands. Those kill the fishes that we like to eat. They also cause diseases, because when you have all of that chemicals and all of that junk in our wetlands, they also help to spread disease.
Okay, thank you very much, Sashalee and Mr. Campbell. So we've come to the end of our presentation section for today. And I thank you guys for participating in the question and answer segment. And I do hope that you guys learned something and that I covered all the questions that you guys asked today. So now we are going to show.
Excuse me, Karine, just 1 second. So I'd like to thank you all for the questions. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Also like to thank Mr. Campbell for his assistance. And I hope you all have learned well from the presentation, and I hope we will all be more responsible with taking care of all our wetlands. Thank you. And you can contact me using the email address provided for tours of the Mason River Protected Area as soon as we have passed the COVID stage. And also for other questions or questions that I did not you did not get to ask me, you can also email them to me. I'll do my best to respond.
Okay, thanks, Sashalee. So information for Peyton, we're asking that you just check the comment section. Ms. Thomas had directly messaged you about the icebreaker section, and she needs some information from you before we go. So now we are going to show a closing animation video for you guys to see. Ms. Coles, can you bring it up, please?
Today, we will focus our attention on the Mason River Protected Area. This site is managed by the Natural History Museum of Jamaica and was designated a Ramsar site in December 2011. It is known as a wetland of international importance. Can we recall what is a peat bog? A wetland that accumulates peat. Peat is a deposit of dead plant material, often mosses, and in the case of Mason River, sphagnum moss.
Here's another fact to note. The Mason River area is a very special type of wetland in Jamaica. It is our only inland peat bog, which is termed a palustrine wetland. It contains many plants and animals that are unique to that area.
Hope you enjoyed this session. Until next time. Bye. For now.
All right, thank you guys for joining us today. And as we're about to close our webinar for today, I just want to remind you guys that next week, we're going to have another webinar next week, Tuesday, that's the 16th of February. And we would like you guys to log on again and join us. Okay, so thank you very much for logging on today, and we do appreciate your presence, and it meant a lot to us, and I do hope that you guys learned something from this webinar. All right, thank you. Bye. Hmm?